All right, go ahead again. Ask it again, Cal.
How did you meet together?
Well, John was stationed in the Air Force. I live in Havre, Montana. And the base where he was at was only about 35 miles from the Canadian border. And
Well,
so,
it's only 3 or 4 miles. 35 from
Havre.
Havre,
Oh, okay.
from Havre to the base, and only about another 4 miles to the border.
oh, to the Canadian border. And so, at that time, I was going to the Christian church at that time, and they would invite a lot of the men that were at the base to come to some of the activities that we had. And they were having a progressive supper, and that's when you have your different meals at different homes, like you'll have your
Different
courses, yeah. Have your appetizer at one home, and your salad at another home, and your main meal at another home, and your dessert at another home. And he happened to come that night with, I think, 1 or 2 other men were there, or maybe it was just one. But he happened to come because he just thought, well, you might as well go. He didn't have anything else to do. And so we sat down beside him at the table where we had the main meal. I was on one side and my sister was on the other side. So we sat down and visited with him for a long time. And he told us a lot about his family and what he did and everything. And then so it was a while later on,
A year.
about a year later, I saw him again. And I think it was, we were at a, excuse me, I got a little cold. We were at a dance and he was down there, I was with my
Well,
friend.
before that, about the bakery.
Oh, yes. He used to,
She was
maybe you
working
want
in
to
a
tell that. Yeah, I was working at the
You want me to
bakery.
talk? You know.
Okay, I got a little.
So, the pay in those days, the amount of money you got per month wasn't very much in those days. This is back in 53, 54, 52. So I had a job in town when I wasn't working at the base. I could, because I worked in the radar. I was a sergeant in charge of a crew in the radar room, where it's dark, you know, and the scope goes around and around, tells you where the airplanes are. And I'd work 2 days, and then I would, next day, I'd go to work and work an evening shift, like from 4 till midnight for 2 days, and then I would go to the graveyard shift. They call it the graveyard shift, from midnight till 8 in the morning. Well, all those times, I could go into town. I had my own car, and I had a job at this warehouse that delivered all sorts of things to grocery stores and restaurants and bakeries, like canned goods and sugar, sacks of sugar, sacks of flour, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I loaded the trucks that went out on delivery. Well, they thought I was doing a good job of doing that. So one day my foreman, my boss, he said, "Would you like to go on city delivery?" I said, "Yeah, I'd love that, because I've always been crazy about trucks." So after the truck got loaded, I'd go in different restaurants, bakery, and grocery stores in Havre, delivering what they'd ordered. Well, I delivered a 100-pound sack of flour and sugar at this bakery, and when I got through making the delivery, I took the invoice to the girl at the front, and she'd sign it, and then she'd give me a sweet roll.
I was working there at that time.
And so I gets back to the warehouse at the end of my route, and I said to my foreman, Dick, I said, "Who's that pretty brunette that works down there in Foster's Bakery?" He said, "Oh, that's the daughter of widow Gina Anderson. Her name is Frances. Nice family," he says. So I delivered there next week, same way, and I got that sweet roll again, you know. And then happened to be on a Saturday, and that night I stayed in town. You could get a motel for one of them was $1.50 a night, and the other was $2 a night. This was back in 1952, And I just stayed over instead of going to the base because it was my 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday. So I was gonna go to church the next morning. So after I got through that night, Saturday night, I got something to eat and then I cleaned up and then I heard there was a dance down at the Catholic church basement. Thought, well, that's something to do. So I goes down there and it was kind of, basically was half out of the ground, half in, I think, and then it would make a difference. But anyway, I was going down the steps. Here this brunette girl, who I didn't name was Frances Anderson, and another girl had their coats on. We're walking up the stairs, leaving. And I says, "Oh, you're leaving so early?" And so I went on downstairs, and pretty soon I looked around, and there this, her and this other girl was standing over the wall. They'd taken their coats off and standing over the wall. They called them wallflowers. So I went over and asked her to dance. Your grandpa. So I thought, well, the first thing I should do is introduce myself to her. And so I told her who I was, and she said, well, she said, I know your name. I said, oh, you do? And I said, yeah, well, and she began to tell me that she knew what my brother and sister, what their names were, my mom and dad, and I just stopped dancing, and I think I asked her, I said, what are you, the FBI or something? You know, how do you know all this? And she says, you remember a year ago when you went to that progressive supper at the Christian church had? I said, yeah, well, this is at the place where we sat down and ate our main meal. I was sitting on one side of you and Sister Phyllis on the other side, and you just talked and told us all this. Mm-hmm. And here she'd seen me in town for a year off and on. Never did come up to me and say anything. How about that?
Well,
So
it wasn't God's right timing.
I took her home that
She
night.
was a polite, reserved young woman.
I took her home that night, and you know what? I even gave her a kiss that night. First night. And 4 months later, we were married.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we just celebrated 60 years last Friday of marriage.
Mm.
So it was meant to be by God's guidance.
God had a hand in it.
Aw.
So that's how we met. It's a long story, isn't it?
That was a good story.